TikTok has quickly become one of the most popular social media platforms in the world, with thousands of creators and countless different kinds of content. I can personally remember the days when TikTok was synonymous with dance videos people made on the street or in their own home. Although some of these videos can be disruptive when filmed in public spaces, most are completely harmless. This first video captures a rare exception. On November 22nd of 2020, Hannah Viverette was recording herself dancing for a TikTok video when she accidentally caught someone breaking into her Hagerstown apartment in Maryland.
Alexa, off. Who are you? Who are you? Please get off. Please get out. No, please get out.
Are you sure?
Yes. Who are you? Please get out of my apartment right now. Please get out of my apartment right now. Get out. Get out. Hello? Please come in.
36-year-old Angel Moises Rodriguez Gomez entered through Hannah's patio door, which she had left open that night in order to maintain air circulation while she danced. Originally, when he first made entry, he was smiling at me and he was just muttering, Hannah stated. She recognized the intruder as one of her neighbors, but she had never spoken to him before. He kept his hands in his pockets, which is what initially scared me. Obviously the fact that an intruder is coming in, but he wouldn't take his hands out of his hoodie, and I was worried that he had a weapon on him. Rodriguez Gomez was arrested by Hagerstown police and was charged with 2 counts of burglary, second-degree assault, stalking, and malicious destruction of property. He was released on bond, much to Hannah's dismay. The only thing law enforcement has been able to tell me is a lot of it has to do with not wanting to house him due to COVID. I just really don't think it's fair that he's walking freely right now, and I have to watch my back at every angle. Luckily, there have been no new updates in the case. Cruises are meant to be a relaxing way to blow off steam, gorge yourself on every dish in sight, and maybe even have a few drinks to top it all off. However, not every cruise is a vacationer's paradise. On November 6th of 2015, 31-year-old Bernardo Elbaz and his husband Eric had a heated argument with security guards aboard the Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. This next video was captured by passengers on the cruise shortly after the argument. After falling from his balcony on the 7th floor all the way down to the 5th floor, Bernardo landed on a metal support beam near the lifeboats. Tragically, he lost his grip and plunged into the ocean, where there was nothing anybody could do to save him. The events surrounding Bernardo's death have been disputed and they remain unclear. Eric's original version of events recounted that Bernardo had jumped overboard as a protest against homophobic slurs that crew members had used against them, but he later changed his account and said that a member of the security staff had intentionally pushed Bernardo overboard. Royal Caribbean's chief communications officer stated that Bernardo had jumped overboard and the crew did everything in their power to save him. The reason behind the argument between the couple and security personnel was due to a loud fight that had been heard from their cabin. Bernardo told staff members that he was upset with certain comments that staff members had made about him. According to Eric, there were multiple incidents in which the crew directed homophobic comments at the couple. One incident in particular involved a bartender who called them a slur. I know Royal Caribbean is extremely gay-friendly, but there are staffers from throughout the world from places that are extremely unfriendly to gays. This next video is quick, but it's guaranteed to raise your blood pressure. There isn't much information about this incident online, but we can make some observations from the footage. The most obvious thing to point out is the fact that the child is wandering into the street and their parents aren't doing anything to stop them. Assuming at least one of these adults is the child's parent, it seems likely that they got distracted, which led to the accident. Second, some of the comments under this video have argued that the driver was likely going too fast for this particular street, but he was most likely going the speed limit. According to one comment, judging by the distance traveled and timer of the video, the car is doing about 50 kilometers per hour, which is probably the speed limit. It is also way too fast and unsafe for this street. Personally, I wouldn't drive faster than 20 kilometers per hour here. One of the replies to this comment mentions the white car that is parked at an angle, which causes the hood to poke out into the street. Another reply says that this is all the more reason for drivers to take it very slow on this street. Ultimately, most of the blame in this incident comes down to the parents of the child, who should have prevented them from running into the street. Some comments have also argued that the system itself shares some blame, given that the speed limit on this street is not safe for how narrow it is. Let this video serve as a reminder to always err on the side of caution. Ana Ljubicic was born in Belgrade, Yugoslavia in 1983. She obtained a bachelor's degree in French language and literature from the University of Belgrade, and she emigrated to the United States in 2005. She became a dual citizen, meaning that she was legally recognized as a citizen by both the United States and her homeland. She became employed in the hospitality industry, working for inns, hotels, and those sorts of businesses. While working for the Wheatley Hotel in Lenox, Massachusetts, Anna met a man named Brian Walsh. They hit it off and began dating, and then got married in 2016. Anna Walsh bore 3 sons for her husband and continued to work in hotels. She eventually became the regional general manager at Tishman Speyer, a real estate company in Washington, D.C. She would travel back and forth between her home in Massachusetts and her job in the nation's capital. Unfortunately, Anna was not aware of her husband's dark side. Little did she know that the man she had dedicated her life to had the capacity to commit horrible acts. It didn't start out violently, however. In 2021, Brian pled guilty to 3 charges of selling counterfeit Andy Warhol paintings. He was eventually placed under house arrest in 2022. On New Year's Eve of 2022, the Walsh family had dinner with one of Brian's friends. In the early hours of 2023, Anna attempted to call various family members, but none of them answered the phone. She was last seen at around 4 a.m. On January 4th, Anna's employer reported her missing at the same time that Brian reported her missing. When questioned by police, Brian stated that Anna had left the house for a flight out of Logan International Airport to Washington, D.C. after there was an emergency at her work. Law enforcement was able to confirm that Anna had purchased a ticket for a flight on January 3rd, but Anna had never showed up at the airport. Her credit and debit cards had not been used since January 1st. Brian Walsh was arrested on January 8th and charged with obstruction of justice after the police discovered he had lied about his whereabouts on January 1st. He pled not guilty, and the prosecution argued that he had gone to a Home Depot in Rockland, Massachusetts on January 2nd, where he spent a total of $450 on cleaning supplies. The police received a search warrant for the Walsh family home and found blood and a damaged knife in the basement. On January 18th, Brian was arrested yet again, but this time he was charged with murder and disinterring a body without authority, or in other words, burying a body without legal permission. The prosecution argued that Brian had beaten Anna to death and then proceeded to dismember her corpse before burying her. This next video comes from his trial, where the prosecution reads Brian's search history.
4:55 a.m. on January 1st, he searched how long before a body starts to smell. At 4:58 a.m., how to stop a body from decomposing. At 5:20 a.m., he searched how to embalm a body. At 5:47 a.m., 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. At 6:25 a.m. on the 1st, how long for someone to be missing to inherit. At 6:34 a.m. on the 1st, can you throw away body parts? At 9:29 a.m., what does formaldehyde do? At 9:34 a.m. on the 1st, how long does DNA last? At 9:59 a.m., can identification be made on partial remains? At 11:34 a.m., dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. At 11:44, had a clean blood from wooden floor. At 11:56 on the 1st, room went off to detect blood. At 1:08, what happens when you put body parts in ammonia? At 1:21 p.m., is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them?
On March 30th, Brian Walsh was indicted for first-degree murder, misleading a police investigation, and improper conveyance of a human body. It's unclear where this next video was recorded or who is behind the camera. Whoever the cameraman is, he was recording a mountain lion stalking him as he hiked through a remote area somewhere, presumably in the United States.
Get back.
Luckily, the man was carrying a handgun at the time, which very likely saved his life. The first time he fires the weapon, you can clearly see the mountain lion lunges at him as if it's about to go in for the kill, but it gets scared by the noise of the gun. According to my research, mountain lions are an ambush predator, which means you should never run away from them if you encounter one in the wilderness. Running away will trigger the animal's instinct to chase and take you down. Furthermore, you should never turn your back on an ambush predator, as they will take that opportunity to attack. You should also never bend over or crouch down when encountering a mountain lion, because a standing human is much more scary than a bent or crouched human. If a mountain lion acts aggressively, your best bet is to try to scare it off by throwing something in its direction. The man in this video does everything right. He doesn't try to run or turn his back, and he fires around as soon as the lion lunges at him. This next video was edited from the original version, not by me, but by whoever posted it online, presumably. There are some odd visual elements that appear on screen, so just try to ignore them. The video doesn't really require any more of an introduction than that. The parent is extremely lucky that the other man was nearby and able to save her child. Otherwise, things could have ended much worse. The name of the woman who is involved in this next video is unknown to the public. What we do know about her situation is that she had recently separated from her boyfriend, 26-year-old Mohammed Amana, and she was temporarily living with a male friend. Amana did not appreciate this, and he decided to take action. He went to the house and attempted to talk to the woman, but she declined. This led to Amana taking more drastic measures. As you watch this clip, keep in mind that he is armed with a kitchen knife and a rock.
Stege. En stege. Okej.
Vad gör du, Mohammed?
Ska vi bara gå in?
Vad gör du?
Ingenting.
Tror du kommer upp här?
Prata med Maria.
Tror du kommer upp här?
Varför så med mig?
Nej, wallah.
Nej, vad ska du göra då?
Jag vill prata med dig, Maria.
Vad vill du? Du har redan stått och pratat med mig länge nog. Jag säger jag tycker synd om dig. Gå härifrån.
Mohammed, du kommer inte upp här. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem, Mohammed. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem. Därför han högg mig med en kniv. Han högg mig med en kniv. Han högg mig med en kniv, en stor köttkniv. Såg ni det? Du, han krossar glaset med en sten. Mohammed. Släpp in mig på där så han kommer in. Han kommer in, Maria. Mohammed, hugg du. Mohammed, du högg mig redan. Mohammed.
The woman locked herself in the bathroom, which is the room that Amana tries to break into at the end of the video. Muhammad Amana was sentenced to 2 years in prison and deportation, which will be lifted after 10 years. Many people have criticized the lenient sentencing in this case, as well as the leniency of sentencing in Sweden as a whole. According to these critics, much of Sweden's justice system is focused on rehabilitation rather than punishment, which is great for non-violent crimes, but violent crimes like this one undoubtedly deserve harsher punishment. If anyone from Sweden is watching this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the justice system there. As an American, I can't say I'm very well educated about it, and I can only go off of what I've read online, which isn't always accurate. This last video is very disturbing, not just because of what happens in the video itself, but also what happens in the aftermath. The video was recorded by 24-year-old Kyle Spitz in his mother's Tennessee home. Kyle's mother was dating a 68-year-old man named Jeffrey Scott West at the time of this incident.
I'm getting ready to blow his goddamn brains out right fucking now.
Stop it!
Blow my brains out.
You want me to?
No! Stop it! Stop it!
Shoot me, I guarantee you'll go to jail for life.
I'm getting ready to blow his brains out and yours. I'm tired of this shit.
You're gonna blow my mom?
What are you doing?
You're gonna blow my mom's brains out? Point that gun at me again.
You just fucking hit him? Did he hit you? Oh my God! You're going to jail.
At the start of the video, you can hear West threaten to blow Kyle's brains out, and later he actually fires the handgun, wounding Kyle. Thankfully, Kyle managed to escape the house and contact the police. A SWAT team showed up at the house and tried to negotiate with West, who was later found dead in the house after committing suicide. Kyle and his mother both survived the ordeal, with Kyle's right ear being injured.